Hello, viewers. You're watching the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. Make sure you subscribe and also subscribe to Super GT because that's my channel and it's almost as good as this one.
Good evening and welcome to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show with me, Hugh Hatrick, and my very special guest, Andrew Dickson.
Hello again, Hugh.
It's good to see you, Andrew, and thanks for actually coming to visit. Normally all my guests stay miles and miles away as far as they can, but you've been brave enough to venture here and actually come to my home office, as you could say, and do the podcast and video from here.
Well, it's only 10 miles. But...
Yes, that's not too far away. So this is going to be a very special video, and it's going to be part of an even bigger video and podcast, because we were supposed to be interviewing Alan Fairbairn tonight, but there were a couple of technical hitches, which meant that his car wasn't quite ready, but we have taken photographs, but tomorrow we'll be interviewing him as well.
Well, you will be, I'm afraid.
You're on ladder training tomorrow.
I am, yes.
Goodness knows what on earth that's all about.
Pew, pew, Barnaby Group.
Exactly. All at taxpayers' expense. But we've had, it's been an interesting few weeks, haven't we? Because the last time we were on the show together, it was a completely different show. Yeah. It was called the Cardio Advisor show, wasn't it?
And then I was on holiday, then you were on holiday.
Aye, so we've done a good few thousand miles between us, but we're back safely and we're in the UK. And for all our listeners and viewers, this show is, as you maybe have seen last week, we had Super GT, which was fantastic, a great sim driver and go-karting legend. And that was our third interview with him. We also had GT Tidgeney Racing, who's also a sim racer, a very successful one, the week before. And this week, you've got us. Right. You know? Are we sim racers? Well, we've had a go. I do GT Sport, and I managed to crash and actually not do particularly well, but it's good fun, and we had a go.
And I'm still on Super Mario.
Yes, so I'm trying to convince this man here to get the internet. No. Tell him to get the internet, then we can sort things out. But no, we are trying, and we're going to be doing lots more motorsport. But Andrew here is an expert in all things motor racing, especially local causes like the Jim Clark rally and things like that. And you've got a lot of classic Formula One knowledge, and I mean, really, it's like an encyclopedia. So it's you've got for all our questions and for what our viewers and our listeners ask for, you're always able to come up with the answers, which is great.
What I still want to know is, do we have a winner for the Putin photo?
Nope.
No.
We always have these great competitions, and we're the only people that enter them.
We need to know we know what the name of the new museum is going to be, but do the listeners?
Nope.
Or could they guess?
Well, I mean, if they get in contact with the Jim Clark Trust, I'm sure they'll find out.
Well, I don't know. It's a secret for now. I think it'll be a secret until it opens.
So you're going to have to write it down or think about it and let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can still do that. If all you need to do is send us an email, it's podcast@cardioadvisor.co.uk, because Cardio Advisor is now our kind of sponsor. In effect, it's one of my businesses that I do, and I've done it in partnership with this great podcast. So make sure you visit cardioadvisor.co.uk for great deals on new cars and new vans. And we've got leasing deals. Just give us an email and we can get you a tailored quote to save you thousands on your next new vehicle. So they're going to be in partnership. So you'll all find that the adverts are all at the end. So it's all uninterrupted from now on, of course. I've just done an advert, so it's not interrupted up until that point. But from now on, it will be. And of course, you can find our videos, all our other videos, on YouTube. Just search for Hugh Hatrick. I know on Podbean, on iTunes, the podcast show is on there too. Make sure you like and subscribe. You know, last week we managed to get Super GT to introduce the show, which was rather fun. And he said, make sure you subscribe to this channel because it's almost as good as his channel. But a big shout out to Super GT for doing that, and make sure you do subscribe to his channel because it is brilliant. Well, it's a very busy weekend of racing coming up. We have the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona, which is great fun. And I managed to get a fantastic sound. Did you hear the sound I put on Facebook?
No.
Oh, I've got to try and find this sound. Now, I don't know if it will play, but I will try and put it into the video. I managed to get this great F1 sound at the era of the V8s.
Right.
Basically, when I'm going to try and put it in at the start of the video once I edit it all, because it's the sound of like a 2012 car coming out of the pits at Jerez. And he does a practice start, and it's absolutely amazing.
You might need that noise because on Saturday it's the Monaco E-Prix, where all the electric cars will go through the tunnel. So if you add that noise, then at least
you've got something to actually do for it. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. I've tried to put them through before, but it doesn't always work when you put a video live and then you try and add on a sound. I don't have the system.
The last Formula E race, they had their 8th different winner of the year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll get a 9th because a few of the drivers really need to get their points in order now. And I think Sam Bird...
Is he doing quite well?
Not at the moment, no. I think he retired in the last one as well. So he was leading at one stage.
Yeah,
now he's fallen back.
Well. But yeah, well, so certainly that's going to be, so that's this weekend.
That's on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
All right.
And then we've got the Spanish Grand Prix on Sunday.
Yeah, I think BBC One or BBC or something covering the E-Prix.
They are, and it's on Quest as well.
All right,
I think
the recorded version.
Channel 37, I think.
Is that also live, is it? Or is
it's live, Oh,
well, Quest.
And live on the Red Button.
Ah, right. Well, that's quite good. So you get lots of good commentary there. And of course, we've got the Spanish Grand Prix where Ferrari have got an uprated engine. Similarly, it's much more powerful, ready to go. So normally, well, actually, when you get to Spain, it can actually be quite a good race. I mean, there has been some very dull races from Spain, but I think this year it could be something because every time we think Ferrari is doing really well, they blitz it in practice, but then they don't do very well.
And Leclerc, you have to say he's been the surprise already.
Yeah, I think we knew he would be good, but the fact that he's actually beating Vettel, or certainly, or at the start he certainly does, but by the end of the race, Vettel tends to get back in front. But
that's Vettel should have had a year out, I think, this year. Just to recharge, because last year really was terrible.
He made a lot of mistakes, hadn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Spanish Grand Prix is coming up, and it could be really good because they've had 4 1-2s by Mercedes in the first 4 races, which is really almost unheard of. In fact, it was a new record. But I just wonder what will happen if maybe Ferrari might do it or somebody else might break through and actually see what they can do. Because, of course, it was at Spain 2-3 years ago that Lewis Hamilton had a big coming together with Nico Rosberg and took him off. Well, they kind of both took each other off. So that was quite interesting. So perhaps, you just never know, we could have the same thing happen this year. I mean, there's quite a lot of teammates that are not seeing eye to eye by any means.
Well, we'll see very soon what the qualifying and the first times are like, but I think Leclerc will be up there again.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So it's going to be good. Now we've had some updates as well for our sim race. Now you may have remembered us talking about this for our Cardo Advisor podcast show, but we've had 3 sim drivers show massive interest and are actually ready to come up and race. One is Super GT, the other is GT Tidgley, and we've also got Chris Hay. Now all of these drivers all have YouTube channels. Just search for their names. We'll list it in the details at the end, and they are extremely competitive, very, very good, and they would like to come up on the day that the Jim Clark room is officially reopened, and we're hoping that maybe 1 or 2 of the guests who come and visit will also take part. But the thing is, we need to raise money to do the actual race. In fact, it's nearly £4,000 if we're going to do it properly and stream it. But it would be a phenomenal event. And if there's anyone listening who is prepared to bankroll us, then I can assure you the money will not go into our accounts. It will go, of course, into a safe.
It won't even rest in our accounts.
No, it'll be spent before we've got it. I'm only kidding.
As always.
No. But it would be. We've got a company from Silverstone who have done a lot of esports before, and they have quoted us around about £4,000 to put on the whole event, and they would stream it out live. And I think having it on the day when you think we've got all this incredible classic motor racing heritage with the Jim Clark Museum being reopened, and then have the cutting edge with the sim race, I think it would be brilliant. And
because I think there's going to be a sim in the room as well.
There is, but I'm not sure if there's enough room to put all of it in there. The company that comes, I think they run it out of a truck, or they set up a stand. But there's plenty of time at the moment to do it. We have been in touch with the Jim Clark Trust. We're just waiting on a response. But it'd be great to get a sponsor, or we are going to. I'm going to be writing a GoFundMe page to see what we can do to try and raise funds to make it happen, because it would be really, really good.
Because I think, when did it last happen? 4 years ago, there was
thousands.
of people here in Dallas.
I mean, it was a massive success. So it would be. I think we could raise money on the day if we actually put it on. Anyway, people would donate. I'm sure they would.
After they raced along the road, there was nothing to do. It was packed 1 minute, and then
everyone dispersed.
So
if we could have something after that, if you've got a big race where you've got a live audience too, and it's going to be streamed, and you've got some of the top sim drivers in the country up there, and you can see it all in Duns.
And Formula One and other drivers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we may get David Coulthard or Dario Franchitti or others.
Alan McNish, Jackie Stewart.
So, and I think it would be an amazing event. We just have to try and put it together, but we need a check. So you need to go to our website at cardioadvisor.co.uk and donate. It can be from as little as just £2. It's a PayPal details there, so everything is secure, and we'll make sure that we put that money aside, of course, to raise money for the race to take place. And hopefully we'll be able to call it something like the Jim Clark Memorial Sim Race. And I think if we could do that once a year, every year on a particular date in the summer, or maybe during Reavers Week, which is our celebration week here in Duns, that would be absolutely fantastic.
So we could do this in an actual Lotus on the computer.
Yes, or even just a Formula One car. I mean, we could use that name, but in turn, there's a number of different categories that we could choose, from GT3 Classic, right up to Formula One, current and historic. In fact, some of the racing scenes, they do have historic cars, and the Lotus is so popular that I'm sure we could do something to make that happen. It'd be great if we could actually do it in those Lotus cars on the game. That would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so it would be brilliant. And the thing would be, we would give one lucky viewer or one lucky visitor a chance to be in that race. We would make sure we we'd have a couple of races on the day, maybe 3 or 4 at the very most. And you could have a chance to race against your heroes and legends on the day. So what about that? That's a prize that you can never get anywhere else. And that would be what we'd be trying to do to make it happen. And it could be a phenomenal event. Just imagine you're going to be sitting there with 4 other drivers or 3 other drivers. It could be Super GT, it could be David Coulthard, it could be Alan McNish, Dario Franchitti, and you could be racing against them, and what an experience that would be. And of course it would be live streamed as well, so all of your friends and family and potentially thousands of people could be watching you either beat them or being absolutely demolished. Well, that's what we would get if it happened to us. So yeah, so it could be great fun. If you're a Super GT fan, you could be sent to the Shadow Realm, never to return, because Super GT may well lap you. But I'm sure whatever happens, it would be great fun. Now, you might see in the background, there is, if I put up the right hand, or other hand, that's it, there is a picture of Ayrton Senna in his Marlboro McLaren Honda. I got that actually it's a very cheap photocopy from Amazon. But it was the 25th anniversary of Senna's death last week. And it's kind of amazing to think that's 25 years ago, a quarter of a century, since really one of the best Formula One drivers, certainly one of the most loved or hated Grand Prix drivers, and I would say probably more loved than hated Grand Prix drivers, left us in a tragic situation. And of course, we can't forget either the deaths of Roland Ratzenberger, 2 who died on the Saturday in the qualifying. But certainly Senna, I mean, did you follow him, Andrew? I mean, I actually seen him racing a Grand Prix in Donington the year before. How did it affect you 25 years ago?
Well, that was the first Grand Prix I watched live.
My goodness, that was a bit of a never again. One of those that would be left.
That was. Goodness. I mean, I was interested in motorsport before then, but that was the first one I consciously sat down and watched.
That was a sunny afternoon on a Sunday, because I remember it very well. And on lap 7, about 1:07 or 1:09 in the afternoon, the Senna just went straight off. It was going around the Tamburello corner and just headed straight off. And I was watching a few programmes, to be fair. Sky TV had an excellent run of the Senna Memorial Week. Or they had an interview with Murray Walker and other journalists, and it was actually really, really good about how, basically Murray said whenever Senna came into the room, everybody stopped, because it was like they were waiting to hear what he was going to say. And it was something spectacular. I mean, I saw him win in Donington in '93, and you knew that you were witnessing something incredible. Because I mean, he was starting off, I think it was 5th on the grid. He went down to 7th by the first corner, and by the end of the first lap, he was in the lead.
Right.
I mean, it was astonishing in these kind of wet, dry conditions.
And Ayrton's great hero was Jim
Clark. Yeah. And of course, Ayrton Senna had been to the Jim Clark room. There's pictures of him being there.
3 years before.
I saw him on the day he arrived. Not many people know this. I remember because it was later on in the evening. Or so that's what I remember it, because I'm absolutely sure about it. We stopped. We had to return a library book, and my father was in the car, and I got out of the car and I looked across, and sure enough, there was this car pulled up, and this chap got out with 2 other people, or a few people from this car, and he was wearing shades on a very dull and kind of drab, dreary day, and I thought, who on earth is that? And I didn't know, of course, because it was hard to recognise. It was a bit far away across the other side of the road, and it was only in my field of vision for a few seconds. And of course, a few days later, we get the Berkshire News, which shows Ayrton Senna had turned up. No, I couldn't believe it. You know, if I'd been anyone else, I would have, of course, been going across to say hello, although he probably would have sent us packing. But yeah, it's he came to visit the Jim Clark room here in Duns. But really, an incredible driver. I mean, you know, 64 pole positions. You know, a huge number of race victories. Yeah. And really, I mean, someone who gave everything on the track, but was very caring of it. Yeah. In fact, this was the kind of tragic irony of Imola, was that when he was, you know, being after his accident and he was being seen to before he went off in the helicopter, Eric Comas was let out of the pit lane for some completely unknown reason. They know that everything had been red flagged, but they had been working on his car and they hadn't noticed that the race had been stopped. And they sent him out of the pits. You heard the car racing towards them, and then of course he came round Tamburello, braked hard as he could when he saw everything was happening, came to a halt right next to where Senna was being seen to. So he got out of the car, and you know, and the irony was Senna had helped him when he was unconscious the year before, or 2 years before, when he crashed at Belgium, and Senna stopped his car and ran out and went to see him and tried to learn to see what he could do to help. So it was a horrific weekend of just everything was wrong. The pace car was a blooming Vauxhall Cavalier. I mean, that was never a great car in the first place, but why on earth would that be a pace car? And it couldn't go fast enough to keep these guys, you know, get the tyres warm. And they reckon something happened, or he hit a bump, or the suspension broke, or one of these things. It was never really found out as to what happened. But we lost, you know, an incredible driver, 3 times world champion, and someone who would have gone on, no doubt, to win an awful lot more.
Well, he wanted to race for Ferrari as well.
Yes, that was. He always used to simply send a fax every time he did a new deal, to say, look, there, I've done a deal with Ferrari, or I've done a deal with Williams, or whoever else, and that was it. No, it was. I remember being in mourning for weeks afterwards. It totally shook me, and I know it'd be the same for a lot of other viewers who followed Senna. You just didn't see it coming. You just didn't think that would be the case, you know. I mean, you knew Formula One was really dangerous, but it just, you thought, no, you know, people had much bigger accidents than that before and walked away unscathed.
Yeah, but it was just the wrong angle.
And suspension that killed them. But no, and you know, people think, what would he have done? You know, we were caught short of, you know, he was racing against Schumacher. He did a number of excursions with him and things, and that was an incredible battle. And really, you kind of felt Schumacher kind of was left off the hook after that, because you kind of felt that would have been his natural partner to you know, or kind of competitor to compete with. You know,
retired, so.
Yeah, exactly. End of '93. So you know, we were looking forward to this battle between Schumacher and Senna, and it was something we never really got to witness. I mean, obviously he had a very close battle with Hill, to be fair, certainly in '96, and 95 wasn't so good. They tended just to crash into each other then. But yeah, it was certainly it was one of those things we will never know as to what happened, and also to confirm that Formula One is very, very dangerous and things can go wrong. I mean, thankfully, in this day and age, it seems to be a bit better. Although we did lose Jules Bianchi a few years ago, but that again, it seems to be like freak accidents that seem to be the thing that does it. But no, we would always love to hear from our viewers and our listeners. You know, what was your thoughts on Senna? What would you know, what was your kind of most memorable moments and your favourite moments from someone who really could, because can really mesmerise anyone. I mean, I remember buying all his videos on how to be a racing driver and his season documentaries and things, and you just watch them over and over again because they were so interesting, and also his great Christian belief, which came across on a number of videos, was something you just didn't get from any other driver. It was, I think that to me that's what made him stand out, because that's where his charisma came from. He was vulnerable, and now they never want to show any kind of vulnerability, but he would really show his weaknesses almost, or his honesty in his talks, which were really incredible. And I still can't believe that's 25 years ago that was the thing. But yeah, no. So that's really our segment on Senna, who you could talk to. You could do a whole program on that without any. But issue.
Yeah, I do have some stuff, but I think we'll keep it dry for the next time when we can.
Yes,
get some technology up and running.
Exactly. I'm going to have to get Andrew a laptop or something. We're going to have to search the charity shops and see what we can do and that to get him a cheap laptop from 1984 and that, so he can get
steam powered.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. It's a short video today, but that gives you roughly what we've been talking about for this week on the Car Sim and Driver Show.
You're going to interview Alan?
Exactly. I'll have a video interview for Alan, which I will put on the show, which is the Rust to Rome. So this is going to be a phenomenal interview, we hope. And we'll have pictures of the car. We'll have an interior shot as well. In fact, we may even get a little run in it. So that will be all.
If he's cleaned it up from last year.
I hope so.
I wasn't looking forward going into the back seat tonight.
But yeah, oh well. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, it's been great to speak to you, and we will obviously make this into a podcast as well, and we'll add the audio from Alan's interview tomorrow, and we'll put it all out. But have a wonderful week. Drive safely, as William Willard would say, and we will see you all very, very soon. Take care and good night.
Bye for now.
At cardioadvisor.co.uk, we can help you save thousands of pounds on your next new car or van. And we can also source second-hand cars as well. And we can save you money on car rental, whether it be in the UK and abroad. Just click our rental link on the website. And we'll give you a free gift if you trade in your car with We Buy Any Car using our special website link. So go to the website now and see how much you can save. And it's back to the show. Thanks for listening. For more information, go to cardioadvisor.co.uk and you can see all the special offers that we have on the website. And remember, we have our YouTube channel, which is at Hugh Hatrick, and also we have our podcast on Podbean, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Anchor FM. And if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to our shows, or you can donate every month for just £1. Thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.